Hello and welcome to Efficient Strategy Gaming. We're on the historical start date of Operation Barbarossa, June 22nd, 1941, and we're just going to try to battle plan Barbarossa. So what I've done here is put all the air on my different generals. As you can see, all the generals are tank generals. Let's pull von Manstein in here. My field marshal here is Hasso von Manteuffel, and as you can see, as Logi Wizard, Offensive Doctrine, and Panzer Expert. And I have Panzer Expert on almost every one of these guys. Still need Panzer Expert on Dietrich and von Manstein, but we should get that shortly. I've got a little bit of cleanup work here to do in North Africa, no biggie, and we've got a little bit of a D-Day wall, but we're trying to build out the rest of the D-Day wall here. Okay, so let's hit start and see what happens. So I've got some units that I'm going to micro here. And the first encirclement that I like to go for is right here, next to Hungary. This is typically a good first move. Okay, so they have Kiev. We can go around that way if we like. Grodno would be a good spot to pick up some supplies. And then let's just keep moving on both sides of the river. This pocket is going to be annoying. It's going to soak up a lot of my men. We can go over this way. And we can head into, like, Vitebsk. That way. And it would be nice to close off this encirclement here. And we're just running down the river lines here. In pretty much any place that we're not attacking, that's where we're at disadvantage. Okay, so we got the encirclements in the backcountry under control. It's still plowing through Denmark there. Let's see how we're looking over here. Uh-oh. It's hard to look in every location at the same time. Wow, the English fed quite a few divisions there. Yikes. All right, guys, so I think we're going to end this series here. It's August 14th, 1944, and we petered out in Barbarossa. I've gone back and forth several times, and I just can't field enough tanks. They get destroyed too easily because the armor that the Soviets are fielding has so much more piercing than I can field. And as you can see right here, if I went for a medium tank and compared that to what I'm using Yad Leopard D. I think that the disadvantage of the Yad Leopard is the fact that the breakthrough is only 19. So although it costs much less, so the production cost of this medium tank is going to be 18, and the Yad Leopard would probably be only like 15. So the cost is only 4 greater. And I'm showing you the new by Blood Alone tank designer with this button up here that has equipment comparisons. And I think the medium would have worked a lot better because I can get really good stats on it, the same stats that I got on the light TDs with the breakthrough and the upgraded armor. So we definitely wouldn't have lost as many of these mediums as I did the lights. And every time I press go, it would be fine, and we lose probably like 2,000 or 3,000 light tanks in the course of a month or two. So basically, I think mediums is the way to go with this build. As you can see, the allies are all around me. Turkey, for some reason, joined the allies, which I think kind of sucks. I'm not sure why that happened, but I'm going to go ahead and report that to Paradox because maybe it would happen in the war, but it didn't happen historically. So it looks like they went up around into the Caucasus, and you can see that the Allies are trying to still take over North Africa and southern France and Italy. Other things that I would have done with the build, I would have used these events and decisions earlier to gain war support, to go total mobilization earlier. That would have helped quite a bit. And the other thing that kind of slowed me down is I did create Vichy France thinking that I would do a historical build, but if I had all these factories in Vichy, my economy would be a lot better, and I definitely would have had a lot more eco than I currently have. Like, could have been up to something on the order of like 600 or 700 factories by now. But establishing Vichy France, I had 3 collabs on France, would have given me all the resources and all the factories inside of that territory. So that was a big mistake. Other things that I learned from this build, was my first time playing by blood alone, was that the basic fighter worked pretty well, and you can get to fighter 3 fairly quickly if you want by going. If you go over to tactical air effort, you can get the 100x research bonus for tactical bomber models. And then if you want the medium frame, this says strategic bomber model. So I think that would give us a heavy frame. And then this says heavy fighter models. So I'm not sure what the 2 100x research bonus would be applied to for the heavy fighter models, but this is going to be interesting. I'll have another video coming out on this just to play around with it and show you some tips and tricks that I found playing by blood alone. And yeah, participation in North Africa netted nothing for me whatsoever. It would have been way better to just stick to going to Barb, and I think I would have been able to get the dub if we had just not gone to North Africa and just focused on Barbarossa. I probably would have had a couple more 1,000 tanks, and I think that would have made the difference. So that's what I learned from this build. The basic making of like fighter 2 was fairly simple at first. Like, before you get the engine 4, simply upgrade to the 4x heavy machine gun, and all you need is these 2 slots here. You don't need to grind air XP in any way in by blood alone, because everything is so cheap. And then as you go along, when you get engine 4, you're going to go ahead and upgrade everything with the 4-2 and then the 2 light machine guns with the engine 3, because I just think it's way too slow. And this model right here was able to go 2-to-1 with British Air. And then again, it was able to go 2-to-1 with the extra attack. So I think it's well worth building the fighter out as I have right here eventually, but start off fairly simple because the production cost is going to be quite a bit less too. So the simple build, when you only have engine 3, actually is a production cost of only 25. So you can get a lot of those out, and they do fairly decent and trade fairly well. And then when you get the engine 4, you could upgrade to the full shebang here. All right, guys, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.